Back on the first time that I learned web programming, navbar is component that's super hard to create basically. I remember when I learned HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, to create navbar it's super hard because on the CSS we need to specify the media screen and how much the width that we need to showing the icon here. We need to hide the mobile nav or something like that. It's super hard. But now with Tailwind and SetCN, everything looks super easy. So I'm gonna showing you how to create this really nice navbar here. As you can see, this is the desktop version. When I go on the small size, as you can see, we have this icon here. When I click, that's really nice animation. It's available out of the box because we're using this sheet component from the SetCN. Oh yeah, I'm going to upload this code on the GitHub so you can contribute on this code. Maybe you need to change the icon here, or maybe you want to add some content on this code here. Just push wherever you want in this code. I'm going to put a link on the description for this GitHub repository. So let's learn how to create this beautiful navbar. Alright, so let's generate Next.js application. So we can say npx create next app at lattice. And for the application name, we can say responsive navbar. So let's hit enter and it will give us some question. I'm going to use TypeScript, ESLint, Tailwind, source, app router. And for the import alias, I'm going to say no. Great, it's done. So now let's cd into responsive navbar folder. And from here, I'm going to open that inside Visual Studio Code. Alright, so let's first open the page.tsx. And in here, basically, I'm going to remove all the component inside this main here. I'm going to remove all of that and let's create new main. And inside in here, let's do heading 1 and I'm going to say home page, just like that. So now if I run npm run dev, it should be open localhost 3000 and let's take a look what we have. This is what we have, right? We just have home page on the browser. So now let's install setcn. Let's go to setcn.com, ui.setcn.com, click get started and go to installation, Next.js. And we are going to copy this command here. I'm going to use npm, open another terminal here. And then let's paste that right here, npx setcn -ui at lattice. So it will ask some questions. So let's use a default slate CSS variable. I'm going to say yes. And it will give us some file and folder, I believe. As you can see, we have component.json here, tailwind.config.ts, and also on the source we have this lib folder and utils file. All right, it's still installing the package. Okay, we're done. Great. And I'm gonna close this, and also let's close the terminal. And now let's take a look what we have. As you can see, now it's look clean. Great. What we need to do first is I want to showing you the tailwind.config.ts. As you can see here, we have some updated file in here. We have dark mode and some container here, etc. But I'm gonna showing you this container here, right? We have this container class that we can use. It's basically have the screens and padding here. So let's use that on the main here. I'm gonna say class name container. Let's save, and as you can see, now the home page is a little bit pushed on the right side. That's because we put the container here. So if I say background red, I'm sorry, let's say background red, let's do 300, and this is the container basically. All right, cool. So now let's create the header component. I'm going to remove this background. And inside the components, I'm going to create a file called navbar, or maybe header.tsx, like that. And let's do rfc, and I'm going to change the name to header, like that. And we are going to import that on the layout on our root component here. So basically, let's do that on the top of this children. So we can say header, like that, and we are going to put the children on the bottom of the header. So now we should see header on the browser. Cool. So now let's close this layout and let's working with the header. So normally in the header component, I use header tag. So let's remove the div here, and I'm gonna use header tag like that. And inside the header, I have div. All right, so in this header, let's add some class name. So basically it should be have a position sticky. That means the header should be stick on the top of the browser, sticky. And then also the position should be top 0, which is on the very top. And the width should be full. Let's say width full. And also I'm gonna add some border bottom like that. Right, so on the div here, for now I just want to say main nav like that. And now as you can see here, we have the main nav with the full width and also the border bottom here. I'm going to zoom in so you can see, right? So let's add some height in this div class name. Height, I'm gonna say 14, or yeah, just say 14. And as you can see, I like to put this main nav here, which is the div here, inside a container. Let's do that. So it will have same width with this page right here, right? Cool. So now inside this div, what I'm gonna do is this is going to be for the desktop, and also down here, this is should be for the mobile, just like that. So here, I'm going to create another component called main nav. Just like that. So let's create the component inside the components folder here. Let's do main-nav.tsx. Let's go with RFC and main nav. Just like that. And we are going to import that in here. And this is going to be the mobile nav. Mobile nav, like that. Let's create that on the components mobile-nav.tsx. And here we can say RFC mobile nav, just like that. And let's import that right here. So basically I love this. Why? Because as you can see, when we go to header component, we just directly see, oh, this is the navbar and this is the mobile, right? And straightforward, this is really easy to maintain if sometime you need to change the maybe the desktop version or the mobile version. All right, as you can see, we have the main nav and mobile nav in the same endpoint right here. We are going to fix that later. So now let's go to the container here. I'm going to add display flex in this container, and basically all the items, it should be on the center. All right, great. For me personally, it doesn't really matter if you're working with the desktop version first or the mobile version first. It doesn't really matter basically, but it's depend on your preference. So let's go to the Excalibur. This is what we are going to build. We are going to create. So on the desktop, we have the logo. On the left, basically we have a logo and some nav in here. So this is basically all the item that we need to put on the left. And for the right side, we just need to put icon. All right. And as you can see, icon will available on the desktop and on the mobile, which is this one and this one, right? It's available on the desktop and mobile. So here, down here, we are going to put the icons. So here I'm going to add comment for, let's say, desktop and mobile, just like that. So here I'm going to use maybe heading 1, and inside the heading 1, I have a link here. So here for the href, I'm gonna do / doesn't really matter. And for the link, let's do some maybe social media, let's say media icons. This is should be available on desktop and mobile. So let's take a look here. We need to post this on the right side. How do we do that? Simple. On the h1, we can say class name. This is going to be display flex and item center, and also the justify should be n, and also the flex, I'm going to say 1. All right. So now all the icon should be pushed on the right. Before we're working with the main nav and mobile nav, I like to use something called tailwind indicator. So I'm going to paste that right here. the component. So I think we need to just copy the content, and I'm going to create one file called tailwind-indicator.tsx, and let's put it right here. So this is basically just kind of like we are going to showing this on the development mode. As you can see here, if there's production, just return null. So what this is doing, I'm going to render that on the layout first so you can see what this is a simple component do basically. So let's go to layout, and here's inside the body, I'm going to render tailwind indicator. As you can see on the left bottom right here, we have indicator screen that showing on the bottom left down here. Alright, so now what we are going to do is on the medium and more, we are going to hide this mobile nav. To do that, it's super simple. I'm going to close this tailwind indicator and layout, and also this config. Let's go to mobile nav, and in here what I'm going to do, let's say class name. For the medium and more, I'm going to set this to hidden, display to hidden, and now it's gone. As you can see on the extra large, it's going to be gone. On the medium, it's still gone, but on the small, it's right here. But now we need to hide this mobile nav on the small size, right? So let's go back to the main nav, and in here I'm gonna say class name. For the first time, it should be hidden like that, and for the medium and more, I'm going to set this to display flex. So now as you can see, mobile nav is showing on the small size and also on the extra small, but on the medium, as you can see, now it's main nav. Okay, cool. Let's go back. Let's first working with the main nav bar here. So inside in here, what I'm gonna do, let's render some logo, I think. So let's say link from next link, and the href, I just want to say / for whom, and in here I'm going to render I don't know, but let's say maybe some icon from Lucid React, Apple maybe, like that. And also I'm gonna say class name text to maybe red, let's do 500, right? So as you can see, we have the really cool logo on the header here. And also down here, I'm going to render some navbar. So I'm gonna say nav, and this navbar have a class name called flex, because we are going to put everything on this line, right? Because in here we're going to have some link going on. So we can say link, and maybe it is gonna be project, and let's add a href. The href, it should be / project maybe, and I'm gonna copy and paste this couple times. This should be maybe about, doesn't really matter, about, and this is maybe for the contact. Okay, so now as you can see, we have project, about, and contact on the headers, right? But I want to add some let's just make sure everything should be on the center. We can say item center, and gap 3, which is gap between the nav right here. And also we need to add some margin left, I think. So let's do margin left to maybe 8. So we have the margin left. On the large, I want to expand a little bit the gap. So I can do that with, I can say large and more. As you can see, for the large here, for the indicator large and more, I'm going to add the gap into maybe 4. Just see on this navigation here, if I add more width in here, as you can see, we have new kind of gap right here. Okay, that's really helpful, this indicator basically. Nice, that's how we create the navbar, main navbar. So now let's working with the mobile nav. Okay, so let's close this main nav and let's go to mobile nav right now. So basically we are going to use component called seed on the setcn here. This is really cool. So let's see, seed right here. Let's click on that and see how we can install it. All right, this is the sheet look like when I click. As you can see, it's showing on the right side and it's pretty cool. We have the background here and also the animation is super cool. So to install that, it's super simple. We need to just copy this command, go to the terminal, and then let's just paste it right here and hit enter. It will install the component for us. All right, it's done. So let's close this and close also the terminal. As you can see, now we have UI folder with seeds right here. All right, we are gonna back on this letter, but for now, let's see how we can use it. So basically, we need to just copy all this import and paste that on the top here, like that. And also, I'm gonna copy all this shit here and paste that inside the div, just like that. So now let's take a look what we have. Let's go back and see we have open button here. When I click, that's come from the right side. I don't like that from the right side. I want to come in from the left side. So let's see on the sheet here how we can use it. As you can see, this should be come from the top, right, bottom, left, anything you want. It's available. So how to do that? It's super simple. On the sheet content, I believe. Let's see on the code here. On sheet content, yeah, we need to put site. So let's go to sheet content and site. I'm gonna do left, just like that, and it should be works. When I click, as you can see, it starts from the left. So now I want to change this open here to something like maybe hamburger icon or something like that, because we're using Lucid React. So let's search Lucid React here, and we are going to searching for icon that have maybe like this one, Align Justify. The name should be Align Justify. So here I'm gonna say Align Justify come from Lucid React, just like that. Save, and it should be, as you can see, out of the box. We have this really nice here. When I click, all right, it works. So now on the sheet content right here, I'm gonna remove all this header and description. We don't need that. But in here, what we're gonna do is just what we're doing on the main nav, which is we are going to render this. Okay, so let's copy all of that and paste that right here, just like that. And of course, we need to import the link, the Apple icon, and save. Let's take a look. If I click, bam. But of course, the project about and contact, we need to make this flex column, right? But I'm going to remove this margin left, so we don't have space in here. And also this should be flex column, like that. The item should be not on the center, but on the left. By default, is on the left. And also here, I'm going to add margin top. Let's do margin top to 6 or any number you want, doesn't really matter. As you can see, it works. Beautiful. If you want to, maybe, I don't like this icon here, how that I change that. So basically, you can always change whatever you want on this sheet here. So let's take a look on the close. As you can see, this is the close icon here. It's using X, right? It's come from the Lucid React, I think. Let's scroll up. As you can see, it's come from Lucid React. You can do whatever you want in here. So let's go back to the Lucid icon and what you want to use. I don't know, code XML. It's kind of weird, but I just want to showing you how it works. So code XML, like that. And I save, and let's take a look here. As you can see, now this is code XML. The border you want to remove, you can always do that here. This is the basically styling. Just remove all of that. I'm not sure what's going to happen. It will going down here because we remove the position. Just remove this one, I think. Let's remove it. And now, as you can see, we have this icon here, right? You get the point, right? You get the idea. So basically, you can change whatever you want in this sheet component here. I think we done how to implement this responsive navbar with Next.js, Tailwind, and ZCN. And as you can see, this is look really good and super easy to create, right? And yeah, hopefully this video helpful, and see you on the next time.